Welcome to the TSMP Sports 2025 NFL Mock Draft. I'm here with Coach Maine. I'm here with Payne Gretzky. I'm here with EJ. Of course, this is Charlie Hustle. We are going to spend the next hour or so going through the first round of the NFL Draft for 2025. Each general manager here will have 8 total picks. We will run those picks in order from 1 through 4, then starting again at the top with the 1. We're going to start our evening out here with Coach Maine. Coach, you're sitting on the number 1 pick here with Tennessee. What are you thinking about here as you prepare to make this pick?
The thought process, the mindset is always best player available. Mm-hmm. You go with needs, you mess around, you box yourself into a corner, anything like that, in my opinion. I'm always thinking of the thing of, listen, when you have more than one position that you need on your team, why not go for the best player available? You're not going to fill everything with that need at that point. You build that way, you build the way to success.
Yeah, I hear that. The pick is actually in, so we'll go ahead and so with the number 1 pick in the NFL 2025 mock draft, the Tennessee Titans are going with
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter, the superstar wide receiver cornerback combo. Yeah.
Listen, Tennessee has been starving for some entertainment. You're starving for someone box office. You need to put butts in the seats. Who does better than that, than a guy that plays on both sides of the ball, the Heisman Trophy winner from Colorado? No one better, Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I don't knock it. So Payne Gretzky, that puts you in a bit of a situation here at 2, as you'll be drafting for the Cleveland Browns as part of your contingent for the evening. Seeing Travis come off the board, does that change things for where you were going here in the mock draft?
It absolutely does, because we're in need of help at one of the premier premium positions, which is quarterback. Mm-hmm. And we also have a stud like Abdul Carter sitting right in front of us right now, right? So do you keep with the strong the defense is already strong with Myles Garrett and those guys over there. Yeah. Do we fortify that and draft the next big thing and put him across from Myles Garrett, or do we put a leader on the offensive side of the ball? Because right now we're kind of hamstrung with Deshaun Watson's injury and Kenny Pickett being our other quarterback right now. So we need to get some depth there. So
you guys also did sign Joe Flacco here in the offseason as well. So clearly some questions at the quarterback spot. The pick is coming in. And so with the number 2 pick in the 2025 NFL mock draft, the Cleveland Browns are selecting.
We're going to go with Abdul Carter.
Abdul Carter, the megastar defensive end out of Penn State.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah. See?
Best
player available.
Yeah.
Get in where you fit in.
EJ, this has become interesting, because what's happening here is guys are sticking with the mantra of taking the best player available. Mm-hmm. And they're skipping over this conversation of you got to have a quarterback. You got to have a quarterback. They're saying, no, if he's not to the caliber that we need, we're not taking him. What does that do for you here at the Giants, knowing you also need a quarterback, but you also have a bunch of other holes to fill as well in New York?
Well, it's not that hard. We're really looking at, edge rusher here at this pick. Abdul Carter was high on our board, very much a person that we thought could kind of change things for us. We could have paired him up with Dexter. But we can't get that franchise type player. So I guess we're going to have to go with another franchise player.
It looks like the pick is coming in. And so with the number 3 pick in the 2025 NFL draft, the New York Giants are selecting.
Giants will select Cam Ward.
Cam Ward does come off the board here. The mega star quarterback out of the University of Miami. Supposedly, he had all the tools coming in this draft to be a franchise quarterback. So interesting to see a franchise quarterback fall to 3 in the draft. How are you feeling about that? Are you feeling pretty confident with that?
I'm pretty confident. We were confident that the number 1 pick would have been Cam Ward. That the GM there of Tennessee would have taken that, but apparently they went with in a different route. So we went the route that we always wanted anyway. We wanted this guy all along, but he fell to our laps, and then we have our next Aaron Rodgers or Justin Herbert. We've got our next franchise guy, and no one better.
Yeah. I think what's interesting here is I sit here at the 4 pick with New England. Obviously, we did a pretty good job last year with bringing in Drake May. I think every franchise understands that you've got to build around a quarterback at some level, and you've got to start that journey. We did that with New England. Bringing in Vrabel is going to help establish a culture that we really want to kind of be a little bit more hard nosed in that result. I think there are a couple of things. Don't be fooled here in New England. Yes, we were last in the NFL in sacks last year. I understand that. And that would tell a regular Joe fan, hey, go get one of these sack masters out of Alabama or Georgia or Mississippi State. There's a bunch of them. That would tell a regular fan that. But when you look deeper into the numbers, you'll find that we're 9th in pass attempts. We're 16th in completion percentage. 5th worst in the NFL in yards per attempt. We're worst in passing yards as a total. 2nd worst in passing touchdowns. 5th worst in first downs. 6th worst in sacks allowed. The answer is obvious. We need help on the offensive side of the football, and specifically offensive line. So we're going to address that here with this pick. I know we're getting ready to send the envelope up. I don't want anyone to be confused with the number 4 pick in the 2025 draft. The New England Patriots will be selecting Will Campbell, tackle, LSU. I don't want you to be confused about his short arms. I don't care about any of that. This guy will be an all-pro in the next 4 seasons and really at least protect Drake May and kind of get this offense building again. He can both run and pass block. We like him a lot. He's going to be able to fit here well in New England. I know we're going back to you, Coach Maine, as you're sitting on the 5 spot here down in Jacksonville. A couple of your glaring needs are still on the board: wide receiver, tight end, D-line, and safety. What are you thinking about doing here as you go into 5 and you're seeing Will Campbell come off the board right before you?
So again, when you're a team that has so many different needs, you're looking to get the best player available for one of those needs and kind of go from there. Again, it's one pick doesn't solve everything, but doesn't hurt to have talent. Talent's always key. You know what I mean? Yeah. It helps establishing the culture, and we have a good quarterback down here, and we need to get him some weapons. It will be great to get him some weapons.
The pick is coming across the stage here. And with the number 5 pick in the 2025 NFL draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars are selecting
Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State.
That's okay. Tight end, Penn State. That's okay. There's a lot to unpack there because that's very early for Tyler Warren. We saw last year the Raiders struck gold by taking Brock Bowers, a superstar tight end. Looks like Jacksonville's trying to follow that.
Listen, it's a copycat league. and we're going for talent. There are some other players there that we had a lot of interest in, but again, we feel as though when you have a need for so much, in our opinion, you cannot pass on a potential superstar. And with the Brock Bowers effect, it could be that. It could very well be that. Ashton Genty, great talent right there.
Yeah.
But we still had NTN back there. Our running backs are kind of secure. We could have went T-Mac, another really good talent. But I feel like Warren is going to build and add on to what we're doing down there for our culture. So you can see a little early we moved up, but you'll see come season what he does.
Well, I like it because if the job is to get Trevor Lawrence right, hey, man, nothing better than having a tight end running the cross routes, the slants right across in front of him. So that's a great job by the GM.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to go to Payne here with the Raiders on the clock at 6. All of the gossip has been that you guys are looking at Ashton Genty coming out of Boise State. Is that what – I mean, are there any other considerations that you guys have made coming into this pick?
There's so many things that we do need to build on off of last season. We addressed the quarterback need with Geno Smith. I still feel like we could get some more depth there. We struggled to run the ball last season. And the league, it's a passing league, but now you have to be able to run, as we saw with Philadelphia winning last year.
Yep.
So we're not opposed to being a part of the copycat league. And I think we need to address the running game, and you can do that one of two ways, with the back, or you can bolster your offensive line. So
the pick is in. We're hearing from the commissioner. That's coming down the line here now. And with the 6th pick in the NFL draft, the Las Vegas Raiders are selecting
Ashton Genty, Boise State.
Yeah. One of the worst kept secrets in the NFL, but I think that he does answer a lot of the questions. The Raiders, one of the worst teams in the NFL in most rushing categories. And so Ashton Genty, who many have prognosticated to say that he's the next big thing at running back. So we'll see what that looks like as we move on into the season. EJ, we're going back to you in Gotham City. The Jets are sitting here at 7. You guys have Breece Hall. Ashton Genty probably wasn't on your radar. Where are you going now? What are you thinking about as you lean into your number 7 pick tonight?
Well, I think we need, for the Jets, we definitely need some help on on the line. I think let's say the 49ers. Sorry. Look, listen. We're going to make a pick here that's going to help fortify our offensive line.
Yeah.
We just need to fortify this. We're at the point in the draft now where we have to make sure that we take the best pick available. I am going to take the mantra from Tennessee, Tennessee GM. So it's not desirable, but we're going to take what we need.
The Jets did bring in Justin Fields in the offseason. Obviously, they're going to pair him with Garrett Wilson. You've got Breece in the backfield. They've got some skill guys that they do like there. So it'll be interesting to see where this pick leads us here as we go to number 7 in the 2025. I see the pick is coming in. And so with the number 7 pick of the 2025 draft, the New York Jets select.
With Will Campbell gone, listen, we're going with the next guy, Armand Membu.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Tackle out of Missouri.
But he didn't. So,
yeah.
We're going to take the next best guy. We need a tackle, simple as that.
Yeah. And that's that. His name has skyrocketed up the charts here in the recent weeks since the combine, and so to see the Jets really kind of do something to protect Justin Fields matters. So I think that's a good move there.
Yeah, historically, we haven't done it. We've always let our quarterbacks get pummeled over the last decade or so. Historically, the Jets have always had trouble. So we're trying to start in the trenches. We got a new head coach now who's, probably going to play a little bit of the short game, ball control. So let's see what happens. Best way to do it is in the trenches.
As I sit here, I'm looking at what I'm targeting for Carolina here with the 8. 5-12 season last year, obviously, right? We're third worst in sacks. We're the 6th worst in first downs allowed. We're the worst in total touchdowns allowed in the NFL last season. 7th worst in yards per attempt against us. 7th worst in completion percentage against us. Worst against rushing yards. It's I can't continue to use the words worst in the league when you're talking about the defense and not address that. So we are going to address the defensive side of the ball here. The way this draft has played out has us making some decisions we weren't prepared to make. We didn't expect Mason Graham to be here at this point in the draft. So really, we were looking very hard at guys like Walter Nolan, the D tackle out of Mississippi here. But now that we see Graham on the board, it does change some things. We'll send the pick in, but we're scrambling a little bit here as in a pleasant way of kind of making some of these decisions here. With the 8th pick in the NFL draft, the Carolina Panthers are going to select Mike Green, edge rusher, Marshall. We get back Dwayne Brown this year, who was a monster at D tackle anyway. I think our need is not necessarily another D tackle. Our need is getting pressure off the edge. Mike Green is only second to Abdul Carter in getting pressure off the edge. So we take the move there and put Mike Green down in Charlotte for 2025.
Kind of earlier than I thought.
Yeah, and again, I think this draft has been a little peculiar in some of those things, but it's
wow, it's shaking some stuff up here.
Yeah,
we're going conventional. You gotta throw conventional thinking out the way sometimes, man.
That's the fun of it.
Outside of the box.
Oh boy, man! I think you're the call. Listen. These GMs out here, Tennessee and Jaguars. That listen, these are the culprits.
Yeah. We're going down to the Bayou. We're going to New Orleans here.
Yeah.
This is a huge question mark. They've been a lightning rod for the last 2 months. The story with Derek Carr, we don't know what's going on with that situation. They've got some wide receivers in place that they like. They still have Alvin Kamara on the books. So, Coach, where are you thinking about leaning as your pick approaches?
Again, this is New Orleans. This is the Bayou, right? The Bayou, again, has been starving for an attraction. They've been starving for someone to come down there and lead the reins. It's been a while since we had the who dat and that version of Drew Brees and that team. And it's a big thing of what a quarterback does and how a quarterback that can galvanize everyone. Again, you have the skill positions in place already. And again, there's a lot of ways that you can go right here. But in my opinion, the best way is to go with the quarterback.
The pick is in for the New Orleans Saints at number 9. They will be selecting.
Throw my wrists up. Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah. It's, there have been so many rumors about him falling and where he was going to land in the draft. And I think this makes sense. Kellen Moore, the new head coach down there that you brought in to run the ship, I think it works. I think that's a solid selection there.
Derek Carr is, You don't know when he's going to come back. I mean, again, the skill positions are already there with the running game, with some receivers, and again, all the stuff that we can say about this young man. Again, the young man is accurate. He can throw the ball. I mean, he can take some hits as well. And just plus, I like the fact that there's good stock there as far as his DNA. You know what I mean? So he was built for some of the things that are going to be coming his way down in New Orleans. It'd be great to see him down there Mardi Gras time, throwing it up, you know what I mean, and just bringing some excitement back to the Bayou. It's been missing. Let's go.
We're going to pick number 10 with the Bears. What are your thoughts on that as we go into this pick, sir?
So football is won in the trenches. We bolstered our offensive line a little bit here. Last offseason, we addressed some weapons as well as we brought in our quarterback of the future, Caleb Williams. Mm-hmm. So I think we're set on the offensive side of the ball, and now we need to dig in and become the monsters of the midway again on defense. And that's done in the trenches, as we said before. So we're going to
with that statement, the pick is in, and number 10 overall in the first round here in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears are going with
Mason Graham, University of Michigan.
Yeah. And that might be the steal of the draft. There's you very rarely see the best defensive tackle in the draft fall to 10. Is that putting you guys in the playoff hunt? You feel like he's the missing piece, or is there still more work to be done?
We always feel like there's more work to be done, but that could be the missing piece on that side of the ball that we needed to get everybody else started.
We're heading out to the Bay Area, San Francisco, to be exact, where EJ is on the clock here with the 49ers. A plethora of needs here and a lot of free agent losses for the 49ers, who it wasn't 2 years ago they had one of the most dominant defenses in the league, and now we've seen some turnover there. What are you thinking about as you go into this pick, EJ?
Yeah, we got to go again with best player available. We just have too many holes, too many people that have gotten injured a lot over the years. And so, we're going to try and we really wanted to get Mason here at this. We thought he would fall right to us, and that would have been the perfect move, the perfect type of defender that San Fran would always draft. That we would, San Francisco is we're always the fans are always looking for those people in the trenches and those edge rushing guys, and the front seven is always dominant. I think we have to stay in that lane and then get our guy. If it's not going to be Mason, it's going to be this other guy.
The pick is in for the 49ers, and with the number 11 pick overall, the San Francisco 49ers will be selecting.
From Mississippi, Walter Nolan.
Walter Nolan, yeah. Some argue he was the best D tackle over Mason Graham to come out. Solves an immediate need for that defensive lineup in San Fran.
Yeah.
And to see him down here near 11 is really valuable. We're going to go down to Dallas, Jerry's World. Again, a lot of needs here. I guess the thing that strikes me about the organization here is we didn't have Micah for most of last year. We didn't have Dak for most of last year, and we still finished 7-10. That's not acceptable for us here in Dallas. But getting those two superstars on that side of the ball back helps immediately without this draft pick. So now we need to support this. I want to give you something that's really went into our thought process here in Dallas as we went through this journey. CeeDee Lamb had 101 receptions for our team last year. The number 2 reception getter on our team, Jake Ferguson, with 59. That's not a professional offense, right? We just can't drop back and throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb every down. And that's what happened in Dallas last year. It's my responsibility to ensure that that does not happen again. We will get Dak back for 16, 17, 18 games for next year, and we will get them some more weapons to build around. With the number 12 pick in the draft, the Dallas Cowboys will select Tataria McMillan, wide receiver, Arizona.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a nice pick.
And immediately, again, we were second in the league last year in pass attempts. Second in the league. We are dedicated to throwing the football. Let's get the talent in here to continue that journey. We're going down to South Beach, Coach Maine in Miami. You guys got some needs down there. The rumors have been offensive line. What are you thinking as we go into the number 13 pick here?
Again, we have a plethora of needs: offensive line, cornerback, defensive line. Again, man, there's a player that, because of the way the draft is shaped out, that was on our big board that we still see there on our big board. And if not for an injury-plagued season, this guy could have went higher in the draft. You could make the argument for him. Like I said, I know this pick is going to make someone else on the board really happy as well too.
With the 13th pick in the NFL mock draft, the Miami Dolphins will be selecting
Will Johnson from Michigan, quarterback.
Yeah. There was some question about him. He didn't run the 40. They were saying he was slower in school. There's some questions on him. He had turf toe most of last season. It wasn't his best year. Some are arguing he's not even the best corner in this draft. So interesting to see him go there to Miami.
It depends on who you're talking to. I think that depends on who you're talking to. And I think with our system and our health team down there in South Beach, I think we'll get this young man right back to where he needs to be, playing in warm weather. South Beach, got to keep him away from certain parts of South Beach. But other than that, as long as this young man is locked in and focused.
When he was healthy, you couldn't throw to that side of the field.
Extremely talented ball player, and you can never ever not have a need for a lockdown corner, on the next level.
And with you guys moving on apparently from Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey, absolutely.
This seems to be the logical pick.
This expedites that a little bit faster now. Yep. We can get some things back. So thinking in the short term and long term with this move for us.
Smart pick there. We'll go to Indianapolis for the next pick at 14 here. Payne, talk to us a little bit about the 14. What you're thinking? You just saw Will. You guys have needs at DB. What are you thinking here for 14?
We do have needs at DB. We also have needs at other premium spots. And one of these, this guy just happened to fall in our lap and slid down the board to us, and we're going best player available right now. So
I love it.
The number 14 pick in the NFL draft, the Indianapolis Colts will be selecting
Kelvin Banks Jr. from University of Texas.
Oh boy.
This young man's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder. He got passed over. He should have gone higher, we think. So we're glad to have him protecting our quarterback's backside.
Banks is a stud. There's a reason why Ewers and Manning were so successful down in Texas. It's because they weren't getting touched because of Kelvin Banks Jr. Great pick there for the Colts as they're trying to figure out the Anthony Richardson situation. The way you invest in a quarterback is to protect them. Great pick there by the Colts. We're going down to Hotlanta, EJ, with you with the Falcons. It's been no secret the Falcons' biggest need for the past 5 seasons has been pass rush. So just what thoughts do you have coming into this as your pick is getting ready to come across the stage?
Yeah, we really were kind of high on a guy out of Marshall. Yeah, we were really high on him, Mike Green.
Mm-hmm.
So we were kind of disappointed to see him go. But we have we have some other names that we were looking at as well, who we actually had higher ranked than him. A guy with a good jump to get into the backfield. So we're going to stay that course, stay that route, and satisfy everyone's desire and get that edge rusher.
The card is coming in from Atlanta. And with the number 15 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons will be selecting.
We're going with the Tennessee guy, James Pierce.
This is early for Pierce. There have been a million questions about Pierce's character, and that's why he's fallen this far in the draft. So then this makes me ask the question, does talent outweigh character when you're looking at these draft evaluations?
In general, no, but now where we're picking, and we would have gone the Mike Green route, but after that, what do we really have left? There are some guys, but we didn't want to pass up on obvious talent. In the past, we've seen guys drop and perform from later picks. James Pierce is just going to be one of those guys. He has too much of an explosive first step. We cannot allow a guy of this caliber, who can disrupt things in the backfield to pass us by. So we ranked him really high. We're going to go with him, and we think we can work these things out and work with him.
We're out in the desert now with the Cardinals at the 16 pick, and I think we have two really big needs that I'd like to address here. I need a playmaker for Kyler Murray, and this is a very big year for Kyler. Right, we need to make some long-term decisions on Kyler. Is he the guy? He came along in the Cliff Kingsbury regime, and so now we've got to kind of see what we need to start seeing some fruit from that tree. And so, do we make an investment in him in terms of the skill position? We did that last year with Marvin Harrison, and that paid off for us well. We still had a very good running game last season. And oh, by the way, I know there are some people in the media who say we need help on the offensive line. We're top 5 in the league in pass protection for our quarterback. So don't mistake it for us just automatically taking a left tackle or a left guard here. We feel very confident with what we do have. We are bottom 3 in the league. Bottom 3 in the league. Let's say it one more time. Bottom 3 in the league for explosive plays. That can't happen. And so my job is to fix that, and we will do that in this draft. We just paid our tight end a lot of money. So although we did like Colston Loveland, we're not going to look at him here. I am going to look at Percy Harvin clone Luther Burden III, Missouri, to come in, put him next to Marvin Harrison, and let him chew up the middle of the field with gadget plays, screens, and really turn into that wide receiver 2 that we've been missing here in Arizona. I don't want people to be confused and think that Luther Burden's numbers from last year at Missouri are an indicator of the player. That offense was not good, and they didn't throw the ball to Luther Burden enough. We will not make that mistake here in Arizona. We're going to Cincinnati for the next period. They're going to pick at 17 here. Obviously, offensively, they've made heavy investments in Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. They have not, to this point, Coach Maine, made the investment in Trey Hendrickson on the defensive side of the ball. So where do you go here as we move into 17? What's your logic here? Do you try to make the offense overpowered? Or, because again, you still have Colston Loveland here on the board, and you put him at tight end in Cincinnati. I don't know who you're going to cover. Or do you have to address some of these defensive needs?
No, I think that the firepower that we have on offense has been great for us. I think it's something that's going to continue to carry us over. But I think the Achilles heel for us is always going to be the defensive side coming those big moments. So I think we have to address the defensive side of the ball right now. We have
The
to.
pick is in for the Cincinnati Bengals. Coach Maine, pick number 17 for the Cincinnati Bengals. They'll be selecting
Jalen Walker, linebacker, Georgia.
Yeah.
Yep.
He jumps off the screen in his tape too. Like he's really one of those guys.
We need someone that, again, that's mean, that's nasty, that's gonna bring that intensity for the defensive side of the ball. Someone that can spearhead us in that defense. And he comes from an amazing program in Georgia who was known for just NFL play after NFL player, man, and just top tier talent. So, I feel like he fell to us. We thought he was going to go a little bit higher on the board, but with the way this draft has been going with unconventional thing, thanks to you great GMs also for doing the work and helping them fall in my lap. I appreciate you. We'll send Christmas cards come late season. Right, thank you.
Yeah. The Seattle Seahawks are on the board here for Payne Gretzky as we move down to the number 18 pick in the draft. Things have moved in a way where players we didn't think would be available are available. And so how much does that play into your strategy here versus sticking to your board and getting what you came to get?
So as many know, we're rebuilding. We blew up everything last year. So we need a little bit of everything. We brought in Sam Darnold. We saw what he can do when he has time, as opposed to when he was in another stop. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but and he was seeing ghosts. We're not trying to have a repeat of that. So I think we've addressed some other things in the free agency. So we're looking to bolster that line in front of you.
With the number 18 pick in the 2025 draft, the Seattle Seahawks will select
Josh Carnley Jr., Oregon. This kid was one of the only linemen to hold Abdul Carter to no pressures in a game.
Really?
Only kid. By himself, too. No chipping. That says a lot. So we're expecting big things from him.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a great pick. That young man was on my board. It's a great pick. That's
a good pick. You know he's pro ready because he played up at Oregon. You know what I mean? That you're not getting any fool's gold there. That's a very good pick there. We're gonna move down to Tampa Bay, back to Coach EJ there, and EJ, it's been rumored that Tampa's needs are all defensive. Do you share that mindset, or where do you see yourself going here as you lean into the 19?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they did lose Tryon. So I think they really need to get that shored up as well. Or they're, it's tough. It's tough when you have so many different holes. It's just you got to just try and do. Sorry to beat a dead horse, but try to find the best thing. But it has to stay on defense. Then we're wondering, do we take edge? Do we take corner? Because this is the tough choice here right now because there's an excellent corner that we really want, but I don't. Green Bay was never one to make the flashy pick. We were always make the solid pick that turns out to do. Tampa Bay. We're never one. We're all defensive minded. Never one to just make the flashy pick. We've got our head coach. We're trying to emulate that. He's big and defensive minded, so we're going to stay there.
It's interesting as you say this, EJ, because Mike Evans is getting longer in the tooth. Chris Godwin has had some injury history on him. And so there's been a lot of rumor about Matthew Golden and Emeka Egbuka out of Ohio State going down to Tampa. But it sounds like you guys have your mind made up of which way you're going.
Yeah.
The pick is in at number 19. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be selecting.
Yeah, we really have to Tryon Shoyinka's exit. We have to go with Donovan Izuraku.
Boston College edge rusher supreme.
He's just a player. The Boston College guy.
Yeah.
Easy.
I can see that. One of the best sack masters in collegiate football last year. He's one of those guys that plays with a whole bunch of energy. And that's something they're going to love. There are some questions at linebacker down there in Tampa as well. So you'd like to see if, again, your edge rusher, you'd like to see maybe they address that in rounds 2 or 3. But
that's our game. You know, Tampa Bay, we need that pass rush to get to the quarterback. We've done that for the last few years.
Yeah. We're going on the Denver here at pick number 20. And listen, we feel really good about what we got from Bo Nix last year under Sean Payton's leadership. There are some concerns about getting him some help. Listen, we averaged 4.1 yards a carry last year, which is bottom 10 in the league. We had one play on the entire season of over 40 yards. One. So our offense is middle at best. We're also dealing with a Cortland Sutton situation because he's only got 1 year left on his deal, right? So then how do we move on that? Obviously, Bo Nix, we love that Loveland has fallen this far down in the draft. He may be the pick. We're still debating that here internally, but we'll see where we go. But I think there are some needs. We'll address them on the offensive side of the ball to get Bo Nix some help. The number 20 pick in the 2025 NFL draft will be wide receiver Texas Matthew Golden will come out to Denver. In the event that Cortland Sutton does not re-sign next year, Matthew Golden, 4.3, 940, can absolutely blow the top off of any secondary in the AFC West. And when you're playing against Kansas City, when you're playing against the Chargers, you got to be able to put points on the board. And Matthew Golden helps us do that. We'll welcome him to Denver with open arms as we're there. We're now going to move on to pick number 21, Pittsburgh up at the Steel Curtain, still under Mike Tomlin's leadership. Coach Maine, again, a lot of the rumors had you guys going quarterback here. A lot of the rumors had Shador falling here to 21. Obviously, that's not the case. So do you stay? You've kind of been consistent in plugging needs for best player. Is that still the need, or do you now say no? I have to maybe downgrade that a little bit and go for our immediate need, which everyone understands is quarterback there in Pittsburgh.
I think that this is the rare case throughout the draft where I do actually go with the mantra of addressing a need and having a very talented player still on the board that fell here. I believe bringing him into this culture with Coach Tomlin is just going to make it better for him, the environment. There are skills players there for him. And there's a winning culture that goes along with being a Pittsburgh Steelers. We take pride in that down here. So I think this young man, seeing that he comes from a great culture himself, I think he's going to fit in very well here.
The pick is in from Pittsburgh. And Coach Maine with the number 21 pick in Pittsburgh will be selecting
Jalen Milroe, Alabama.
Okay. Very early for me.
I love this young man and this type of culture. I feel like Coach Tomlin, there's no one better to coach this young man than Coach Tomlin, and he will understand what it feels like to be a Steeler, hard work, preparation, Again, if there's anybody that I would want, if I had a son and he played football, I'd want him to play for Coach Mike Tomlin. So.
It is not lost on us here at TSMP Sports that Coach Maine has upset the draft order here on multiple occasions. Every rumor coming into this was that Jackson Dart would be the quarterback that heads to Pittsburgh and not Jalen Milroe. Again, the surprises keep coming as we work through the 2025 NFL draft.
Love it.
We're going to LA with the Chargers on the board here for Coach Payne out there. And Payne, again, there's been some obvious rumors about wide receiver, tight end, D-line. Harbaugh has done an amazing job in his time there. I know you have an affinity for Coach Harbaugh. What do you think you're looking to address here as you move into the 22 pick of the first round?
I just got a text message from Coach Harbaugh thanking all three of you for letting this guy slide to us. So our pick is already in.
The fastest pick that has been turned into the stage. The commissioner is bringing it across right now.
And this guy once played. I'm sorry. I'm excited for Coach Harbaugh and me being a Michigan man. This guy played for Harbaugh, Colston Loveland.
I saw this coming. I saw it coming a mile away. I saw it coming a mile away. Great pick. You know what you're getting. The coach-player relationship is already there. You actually recruited him at Michigan. You couldn't have a better marriage there at number 22. EJ, we're going back to you in Green Bay, up with Lambeau. Jordan Love obviously entrenched at the quarterback there, but there are some needs. There are some issues, even at a wide receiver. So I want us to all understand that wide receiving room, very young, but still with question marks. Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs is coming off injury. There's a lot of things happening up there. Where's Green Bay leading as you guys look at the 23 pick?
Well, we still need to get weapons for Jordan Love. Jordan Love, there's not enough weapons. Golden, we were thinking he was going to slide slightly to number 23. It didn't happen. But you know what? This draft is pretty deep. And there's a guy out there who has good route running skills, good hands, prototypical Green Bay receiver. So that's where we're going.
There are questions about whether or not Jair Alexander re-signs with the team. We'll see if that gets addressed here by the general manager here as Green Bay is on the clock. The ticket is coming in as I see it coming across. And so with the number 23 pick, the Green Bay Packers will be selecting.
Well, the team with no owner will go ahead and select from Ohio State, Emeka Egbuka.
Another wide receiver under 25 years old in that wide receiver room in Green Bay. They're making the investment. I'll tell you that. They're making the investment in Jordan.
I got to tell you, from Green Bay, that's what we do. Anybody that knows Green Bay, if you follow Green Bay for the last 25 years, we usually try to develop our talent, including at wide receiver. We never get the guy that's always already ready-made. Usually they develop, and we have a good developing staff. So, these guys will turn out, and then Jordan Love will have the weapons we need to be that high-powered offense once again.
Much like we just saw with the Chargers, the Vikings pick is already coming across the stage, and with questions in their secondary, specifically with Harrison coming down on his last legs here in that Vikings secondary. I think this pick is a no-brainer. With the 24 pick in the NFL draft, the Minnesota Vikings are selecting Malachi Starks, who a tremendous fall. Malachi Starks was ranked in the top 10, folks, on everyone's big board. But because of the way this thing is broken down, Malachi Starks comes in and immediately, if not challenges for that starting safety spot, will absolutely be the heir apparent once Harrison retires. If not this season, definitely the year following. We're going to move over to the Houston Texans at the pick number 25. And Coach Maine, there's some work to be done there, as the Texans are top 5 in the league in sacks allowed. So what's the game plan here for 25? Where are you guys going as we lead into this pick?
Oh man, yeah. I mean, we need to protect our quarterback, man. Need to protect our quarterback. But again, conventional thinking, man, it's just, it hasn't always been the way to go. I mean, sometimes you just think a little bit different. And, again, sometimes in some cases you can go with best player available. When you're picking this late in the draft and you're seeing talent that just happens to fall to you, and regardless of the side of the ball is on, you still have to take it and maybe do some trades with some other pieces that you will have when you get the talent to add on. So
that pick is in the Houston Texans, and Coach Maine will be selecting
Jahad Campbell, linebacker, Alabama.
Yeah. And he's a stud too. Again, he's another one of those guys that shouldn't be drafted in the 20s. He should have been gone much earlier than this, and so he becomes a steal down at 25. Still some questions there on that offensive line, but I think when you have a superstar talent like this coming off the edge, you've got to make the move. Great pick there by Houston. I'm very much behind that pick. We're going to Los Angeles again with the Rams. They've decided to hitch their wagon once again to Matthew Stafford at the quarterback position. But losing Cooper Kupp means something in Los Angeles. So Payne, talk to us a little bit about your strategy going into this 26th pick.
We're not so worried about the offensive side of the ball. We have Puka Nacua. We made some free agent signings in the offseason. We do want to bolster our defense, as we've been reeling to try to, and there's no way to really replace an Aaron Donald, but we've done so with some young guys, and we just want to continue to add to that. So I think our pick is a pick. So.
That pick is, in fact, in at number 26. The Los Angeles Rams will be selecting
Jahdae Barron, University of Texas.
Yeah, corner. There's some debate that he's a top 2 corner in this draft, and so you add him in there, and you really start to get back to those times when those Rams defenses were scary, when it had Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, that kind of combination. I think looks good on the Rams here. Baltimore at 27. Coach EJ, this team's close to a title. Obviously, you've got a franchise quarterback. You've got a franchise running back. You've got a franchise wide receiver. The offensive line has been tremendous. And the defense has done Baltimore defense things, right? So where do you guys go 27 in the first round? What are you thinking? What's your logic here, at least?
Well, I think, whatever you're doing well at, you just bolster that. You keep bolstering that, and you keep elevating that. We run the ball well. We protect the quarterback well. Why not just continue to go in that direction and continue to bolster that line? I think that's very key.
The pick is in for the Baltimore Ravens, and at 27, they will be selecting
Josh Simmons, Ohio State.
Yeah. That's a solid pick there. That's a solid pick. Very, very underrated. Josh is, but and he could play a little bit of guard as well. We saw that from him at Ohio State as well. So some versatility there. You still don't know what's happening with Ronnie Stanley and his durability on that line with Baltimore. So I think it's a very good pick there. Detroit, Detroit. One of those teams in Detroit is they seemingly have everything you want. Obviously, they're a championship contender. What we are focusing on here is linebacker depth, a playmaker if there's one on the board, which we believe there is, and we're looking specifically for an edge rusher opposite Aiden Hutchinson is really our goal here. And I think we've been able to identify some talent that we really want to get our hands on here. So although there is some D end talent, edge rushing talent that we really like, we would be totally remiss if we don't draft Kenneth Grant here, D tackle, Michigan. Yeah, we have a great D line, and you make a D line better with a superstar like that at D tackle. Grant is underrated, and he will shine for us here in Detroit in some of our pass packages. So we're very happy about that pick. Going to number 29 as we get towards the back end of the first round here, we're going to the Commanders. And Coach Maine, this is on you. What are you thinking about as you go into the 29 pick here?
Again, when you're picking this late in the first round and the way the draft has shaped up so far, now you're looking to see who's sliding to you that you thought may have been gone earlier, right? So this is, again, where you're looking to take the mindset from the top part of the first round with the mindset for the back end of the first round. And again, grab best player available. When you have several needs that you need to have, again, there's so many talented players on board. I think it's best that you go with best player available. That's just going to be the mindset throughout the night.
With the 29 pick in the NFL draft, Coach Maine and the Washington Commanders will be selecting.
But I'm no fool either. We're going to take Omarion Hampton, running back, North Carolina. Let's get the young boy some more weapons around him. Again, running games help out the quarterback very well, with the skills players that we have, the passing game. Again, this just helps out. This takes Jaden to another level in just year 2, which is crazy. Just year 2. You got to support your young quarterback, though.
Is the trade for Marshawn Lattimore last year the reason why you don't take Trey Amos this year? Is that you believe you have some future with Lattimore?
Yep. Absolutely. I believe we have something already there. Again, you need backs, you need explosiveness, and again, you got to get your young star QB more weapons.
Got it. We're moving up to pick number 30 here in the first round with the Buffalo Bills. Payne Gretzky, you are back on the board here. What's your logic coming into the 30?
Our logic here is we can score points with the best of them, so we need to be able to stop some people, and playing in a cold weather city, that's key, especially, in the winter. People don't want to be throwing the ball all over the place. The ball's slick and it's cold, and it just makes for chaos. So we want to do that on the defensive side of the ball, and I think this young man can help us do that.
That pick is in the number 30 pick. The Buffalo Bills will be selecting
Shamar Stewart, Texas A&M.
Yeah. They had 2 dominant edge rushers at Texas A&M last year. I'm not sure how much you guys watched Texas A&M, but that pass rush was scary from both sides. With Shamar and then his partner Nick Scorton down there at A&M, they wreaked havoc in that conference. So great pick by Buffalo. I did think they needed some line help, so I think that was a really good pick by them. We're going back on the clock here for pick number 31, Coach EJ with the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously playing in the Super Bowl. Not a lot of holes, but there are some areas of opportunity.
Yeah, I beg to differ. I really thought that, I thought Hairston was going there, but to Buffalo. But anyway,
Hairston or Amos, I had both of them going there.
Yeah.
So,
listen, the 2 times that I remember Mahomes having trouble dancing for his life, the 2 were his 2 losses. Listen, I think it's clear we need help in the trenches. We need help in the line, particularly help up the middle, in the middle of the line to protect him. Right now, at this late in the draft, it's hard. There's 2 or 3 guys that I would look at, but I even liked Amarius Mims. 6'7", 330 pounds.
Yeah.
but that's not where we're going to go. We're going to go with a different guy on the line. Somebody, 1 out of 2 that have, played, can have depth on any part of the line. And that was one of the issues.
So that pick is in for the Kansas City Chiefs. And with the 31 pick in the NFL draft, the Kansas City Chiefs will be selecting
from Ohio State, Donovan Jackson. Played a pro-style offense. So basically, Mahomes needs help now. They're in win now mode. And getting a guy who has to take time to develop is not going to be in Mahomes' best interest. So we need a guy he can play. He can run block. He can pass protect. When we had to move and shuffle guys on the line in the Super Bowl, we saw how damaging that was. So let's just solidify that.
In Philadelphia here, coming off of a Super Bowl, what generally happens to Super Bowl teams is we lose talent to free agency. Guys start, they outprice themselves for our market. And so we lost Milton to New England, and we lost Montez Sweat, a lot of our pass rush that we became famous for in Philadelphia. We absolutely are beyond excited to watch one of our big board targets fall to us here. He won't fall anymore. We're going to welcome him to the city of brotherly love. The number 32 pick and the last pick in the first round, and the last pick of our 2025 mock draft here at TSMP Sports will be Michael Williams, Georgia edge rusher. Adding him to our already elite front seven puts Philadelphia, we believe, right back in the Super Bowl contention for next season. And with that said, that will conclude the 2025 mock draft. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Any final last quick thoughts on this, boys, before we wrap it up?
There was a lot of I think that first pick threw the whole draft into chaos. It made a lot of people slide and a lot of people move up. And it was good because, like, all these mock drafts you watch on different channels and stuff like that, it goes the same way. Like, people expect it to go the same way. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of guys were slept on. Like that Kenneth Grant pick. Kenneth Grant was the unsung hero on that line because Mason Graham got all the credit. But Kenneth Grant was a beast, too. You know what I mean? And then,
and of course, this is not because you're a resident Michigan fan, right? That's not what this is at all. This is just
I watched every game all day on Saturday, so I know what he can do. So I honestly think Kenneth Graham is more pro ready than Mason Graham as far as being able to stop the run and pass rush as well.
Yeah, Coach.
Listen, man, I'm feeling good. You know what I mean? Talent, man. Talent sells tickets. And when you're in Tennessee, man, you need some things to draw the people in. And I just, again, conventional wisdom. You just take the best player available. You can work with Will Levis, or you can get someone else in day 2 or 3 just to help out and get someone else in the room. But it's tough to pass up on a unicorn type of player who everybody is coming to see and all that type of stuff. And so when you have so many different needs, again, just take best player available. So Travis,
EJ, parting shots for you, EJ, before we get out of here.
Yeah, I think if the draft does go that way, Coach, then a guy like Jackson Dart might be available later if it went the way it did today. You kind of get two, catch two birds. I think
because now you'll see Cleveland and the Giants both jump up to the top of the second round for sure.
Yeah, so taking Travis 1 and in our mock, in our thing, Jackson's still out there, because Milroe went a little earlier than I thought, but yeah, I think if it goes that way and having a Cam Ward available to the Giants, they don't pass up on Cam Ward. I mean, they were thinking about it with Shador. I think they're thinking about it with Shador. They might even go with an Abdul Carter or, Travis Hunter if he's still there. But with Cam Ward at number 3. Like there's no way, and that kind of messes the whole thing up because now New England's looking like, okay, what do we get now here? Like, oh, okay. So I think Michael Williams dropping all the way to 32
Incredible.
doesn't make sense to me. Incredible. So I'm like, wow, yeah, you take best play available. That's Coach Main's philosophy here. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, if we continued into the second round, I think there's a lot of players right now still available. I'm like, well, I mean, we could get some good, it just tells me that this draft is going to be deeper than.
It's better than you think.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Left tackle out of North Dakota State is a top 20.
The kid from Arizona State, Cam Scatterbull, is going to be tough.
The running back out of Arizona State. So
Hairston's still out there, right?
Right, from Kentucky.
We didn't. Yeah. Hairston.
And Trey Amos is still on the board.
Yeah.
Come on, we don't know. So, TSMP Sports 2025 mock draft. The next time you see our group, we'll be talking about the NBA draft. So stay tuned for the content. As Cooper Flagg and company are up next on the board. So until then, we'll catch you.
Ace Bailey.
Follow, like, subscribe. We're going to be here continuing giving you content on the sports side of things. Until then, we'll catch up with you. Peace.